Here's something crazy you probably think makes no sense, but going hungry might be exactly what your brain needs right now. You think fasting is about food, but your brain sees it differently. When you stop eating, something powerful happens. Your neurons don't starve, they wake up. Your brain doesn't register fasting as punishment. It registers it as a signal, an ancient alarm that's been hardwired into your cells for millions of years, a signal that tells your body to adapt, optimize, and survive. We can see how fasting dates back several centuries and spans across various cultures and different spheres of life. The ancient Greeks fasted to sharpen the mind before studying. Even the great philosophers, Plato and Aristotle, were advocates of regular fasting, believing it enhanced mental acuity and philosophical reasoning. Pythagoras, who developed the Pythagoras theorem, required his students to fast for 40 days before they could begin their advanced teachings, convinced that abstaining from food purified both body and intellect. But only with new technology, scientists have been able to dive deeper and uncover what was really happening inside the brain. The science. Your body must decide what to do when you stop eating. It flicks a metabolic switch when its preferred fuel, glucose, runs low. Depending on how busy you are, this usually occurs 12 to 36 hours after your previous meal. Your liver begins converting fat into ketone bodies. There are three kinds: acetone, acetoacetate, and beta-hydroxybutyrate. The secret is that these ketones have the ability to directly fuel your neurons by passing across the blood-brain barrier. For your brain, ketones are more than simply fuel. They're like premium, high-octane fuel, and it can generate 25% more cellular energy per unit of oxygen than glucose. This cleaner fuel source reduces neuroinflammation, which, by the way, is a major factor in cognitive decline and diseases like Alzheimer's. When you fast, your body activates a process called autophagy. This won a Nobel Prize in 2016, so it's kind of a big deal. Autophagy is literally your cells taking out the trash. Your neurons clear out misfolded proteins, damage mitochondria, all the cellular junk that piles up during normal metabolism. This process peaks around 24 to 48 hours into a fast. And this is the part where your brain goes from surviving to thriving. Fasting increases something called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. This protein literally helps your brain grow new connections. The National Institute on Aging found that fasting can increase BDNF levels by anywhere from 50% to 400%, depending on how long and how often you fast. BDNF is like fertilizer for your brain. It helps existing neurons survive, encourages growth of new ones, and strengthens the connections in your hippocampus. That's the part responsible for learning and memory. And this is exactly why people report feeling sharper and more mentally clear when they fast. Neurotransmitters like norepinephrine and orexin increase and can crank up your alertness and attentions. Fasting also drops your insulin levels and improves insulin sensitivity. Lower insulin means less inflammation in your brain, and that allows neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin to balance out properly. A 2018 study in translational psychiatry followed people doing alternate-day fasting for 8 weeks. The results? Reduced symptoms of depression and anxiety, better emotional regulation, less rumination, those repetitive negative thought loops that keep you up at 3 a.m. Because of this, GABA production is increased, and that's your brain's primary calm-down neurotransmitter. It reduces excessive neural activity associated with anxiety. Why does this happen? Well, your brain enters a mild stress state, just enough to trigger growth and repair. Scientists call this hormesis. It activates cellular defense pathways without causing damage. Fasting increases stress resistance genes, antioxidant enzymes, heat shock proteins, and sirtuins, all associated with longevity and cellular repair. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. Our ancestors went extended periods without food while hunting or gathering. The brains that survived, the ones that got sharper during fasted states, heightened senses, better pattern recognition, enhanced problem solving. These increase survival odds. Long-term benefits. Now, everything we've talked about so far, the focus, the mood, the clarity, that's amazing for your day-to-day life. But here's where fasting goes from cool to potentially life-changing. Research shows that intermittent fasting may slow age-related cognitive decline, lower your risk of diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, and support stroke recovery. Those practicing regular intermittent fasting maintained cognitive test scores comparable to people 10 to 15 years younger. Read that again. Their brains were functioning like they were a decade younger. Brain scans showed less hippocampal shrinkage and better preserved white matter, the neural highways connecting different brain regions. So, how does this work? It's not just one thing, multiple protective mechanisms work together. 1. Fasting keeps BDNF levels elevated throughout life, maintaining your brain's capacity for neuroplasticity even in advanced age. 2. It activates longevity genes called sirtuins, particularly SIRT1 and SIRT3, which regulate cellular metabolism and DNA repair. These enhance mitochondrial efficiency, ensuring your neurons have reliable energy even as you age. And 3. Here's something remarkable. Intermittent fasting preserves stem cell populations in your brain. MIT research shows it enhances the regenerative capacity of neural stem cells, maintaining a reservoir of cells capable of replacing damaged neurons throughout your entire lifespan. Let that sink in. You're not just maintaining your brain, you're potentially enhancing its ability to repair and regenerate itself. The question is, are you ready to experience what your brain can really do? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next video. Drop a comment below. Have you tried fasting? What did you notice?